Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rolfie's Reds Rundown, the place where you can come to get your weekly Reds updates and news. Today it is going to be a little different. Obviously, as you can see from the title, we're going to be going off of the player of the month. So this time, instead of me recapping the past, I guess it'd be like 2 weeks of games, I will be going over the player of the months for May. Since that just wrapped up, kind of have the official stats, official feeling on how the players played. So I kind of took that into account with regards to who I picked in their category and kind of why. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. For the hitter, I decided to give it to Tyler Stevenson. I mean, he tore it up in May. He was probably the second best hitter behind maybe Candelario, potentially. But his stat line finished, he had 23 games in total, had 71 plate appearances, had a 268 average with a 312 on base, 423 slugging for 734 OPS, 7 runs, 5 doubles, 2 homers with 8 RBIs, and then 4 walks to 14 Ks. The OPS was the third highest on the team. I think only two, like maybe Candelario and Fairchild. I wanted to put Fairchild on here, but since he's really just a platoon versus lefties, I felt like it wasn't fair to put him on here and then have him. He wouldn't bump out Stevenson, but to have him bump out somebody potentially that might have deserved it a little more who plays more regularly. Um, which also leads into Stevenson should be playing every day. I think it makes sense if you have him at DH sometimes and you have Maley catch. I think that's fine. But he has to somehow be in the lineup because right now he is one of the only guys producing on the team with an offense that has struggled so much in this month of May that it's kind of hard to find a top hitter in that sense. He needs to be in that lineup. He needs to be the guy that can come up. He's also come up in some big spots for the Reds when they've needed him. I'm recording this on June 2nd. They just won the series against the Cubs. He had a few hits in that series that were pretty big. But yeah, he needs to be playing every day. He is the guy I feel right now. Only second to are also most improved player, Jeimer Candelario. That is why he is not the hitter. I probably would have given it to him, but the improvement from April to May was so big, I couldn't not give it to him. Him in May, in 24 games, 89 plate appearances, he had a 247 average, a 309 on base, 449 slugging for 759 OPS. He had 8 runs, 7 doubles, a triple, 3 homers with 11 RBIs, and then 7 walks to 18 Ks, so about a 1 to 2 walk to K rate, which is very good in 1 month. I would say if I have a guy hitting 250 pretty much every month, I'm going to be happy with what I'm getting out of him, especially if it's 7 doubles, 11 RBIs, all that whole thing. Now you compare it to April, where he only played in 2 less games, 10 less plate appearances. He hit 190 with a 321 on base, 374 slugging for a 641 OPS. That is a solid 120 points pretty much of OPS. That's different. He had 8 runs, so the same there. 2 less doubles. He had 5. Also had a triple, so he had a triple in both months. 2 homers, 8 RBIs. But the big difference here is that while the 9 walks, he technically walked more, 7 in May, 9 in April. He struck out 9 more times, striking out 29 times in April compared to 18 strikeouts in May. If he can continue this pace, that would be great because then you've got another solid bat who you did pay a lot of money for that is starting to show kind of what he is. He's starting to get it going. I think they said in his last few weeks he's hitting like 280, so he's getting back to getting in the swing of things quite literally, um, in the sense of that. And to kind of round out the hitting part, I decided to give the biggest step back award to Elly. Again, step back is not an award you want, but it's going to happen no matter how you're playing. Elly in May it was a really rough May. In 27 games, 101 plate appearances, he cleared everybody else by at least 12 plate appearances, played in almost every game. They might have benched him one time. He had a 208 average, 298 on base, a 287 slugging for a 585 OPS. Not what you want to see from your one of your top players who's supposed to be kind of the future of the team. Um, He did still have 10 runs, still at 5 doubles, only 1 homer though. 11 walks to 40 Ks, not great, but at least he still had 14 stolen bases, so when he was getting on base, he was still trying to cause some havoc on there. Again, a lot of those really came against the Dodgers, though, so it's not a great sample size in terms of that. But then you can compare it to April, and it seems so much like more sad in the sense of same amount of games, only 8 less plate appearances at 93. Hit 280 with a 391 on base, 591 slugging, 982 OPS. He had 24 runs, 14 more than this past month. Same amount of doubles at 5. He had 8 homers in April with 19 RBIs, with 16 walks to 32 Ks, so an exact 1 to 2 on the walk K rate, and 17 stolen bases. He was producing way more. He also, in the month of May, kind of felt like when there was a runner in scoring position or a runner on, it's like he just forgot how to hit. He managed to miss a lot of pitches that he probably should have hit. Um, which again, you're gonna have those kind of swings with him. It kind of feels like right now he's on a cold streak and then he'll get into a hot streak and he'll kind of try to balance himself out. But it would be nice if he could just have a consistent bat instead of a hot and cold streak that everybody kind of is like, okay, what do we really think of him? But he should be able to kind of come back into form in June. That's the hope. If he can bring it back in June, have a solid like 260 average. If he can have that average, he's going to be producing a lot more than he did this past May, which kind of took the spark out of this Reds offense, sadly. But so have plenty of the rest of the season to get through, so we're all good with that. The pitcher of the month, I kind of went with a guy that not many people are too fond of right now, and there is good reason for it, especially because in the second game of the Cubs, he did give up a 2-run homer that ended up losing it. I'm going with Lucas Sims, though. In the 12 games that he's appeared in, he's pitched 9 1/3 innings. He did get 1 save, had 3 holds, only gave up 1 run, though, with 5 hits, 1 walk, and 10 Ks. He had a .64 whip with a .96 ERA. He had a 9.6 K per nine, the lowest opponent batting average at a .156 average. That is a great reliever. It seemed like he was coming back into his own and kind of getting that big whiff rate that he needs. Again, he didn't do it that great in the second game against the Cubs, but he wasn't going to hold on to this streak for that much longer. So I'm kind of happy that maybe it's out of the way. But he seems to be coming right back into form where he's needed. So if we can get more of that out of him, that would make everyone a lot more confident in him, and I think that would help him maybe in his head feel a little more confident. And then I went for an MVP for this team in May. I decided to pick Hunter Green, who in 5 games I was 2-0, had 3 quality starts in 30 innings in total, 8 runs, 23 hits, 13 walks, 29 Ks, with a 1-2 whip, a 2.4 ERA, had 8.7 K per nine, and then also one of the lowest opponent batting averages on the team at 217. He's a guy that's managed to get out of jams when he's got himself into it. Again, game 2 right now is a big one where he did give up that grand slam to Seiya Suzuki, but other than that, if he's worked himself into a jam, he's been able to work out of it pretty well. He's been able to go deep into games. He's going like at least 6, it feels like, every single game. He can give a solid 6 innings, maybe 7 if he's having a really good outing. That's something that's something that he really needs for this Reds rotation going forward, to have somebody stand out and be that guy, because Montas has taken a step back. Lodolo just came back from another injury. He should be another guy. But right now, it's Hunter who should be the guy stepping forward and taking that like ace role that he needs. That's all I really have on this episode. It was a little bit shorter, but I wanted to get this little video out for the players of the month of May. I want to try to do this again at the end of June to get their stats, and kind of see how the season looks. If there's guys who play better in some months than the others, or like it's every other month. I think that would be pretty neat to kind of take a look at. That'll probably be it for this episode. So if you guys want, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.